episode. Today we're going to talk about metablocks, subblocks. So what are these things? Well, here are some examples of them. The easiest way that I can describe them is you have multiple blocks that are really just one block, but you have multiple flavors or variations of them. So like here we have some purple wool, some cyan wool, and some green wool, dark green wool, forest green wool, Zelda Link wool. And then we have some clay, right? All of these blocks are completely similar. There's just one minor little change between all of them. Acacia, jungle wood, birch, right? These slabs, right? Very similar, all of these blocks. I'm going to teach you how to make these. I had a specific request from Mike to make some of these. So Mike, here it is, buddy. We're making some. We're doing it. You and me. Woo! So yeah, let's get started. Let's get out of Minecraft, because this isn't just about fun and games. It's about making fun and games. The first thing that I want to do, though, is I want to come in here. This is stone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make 4 different types of new stone, right, that we can have spawn in the world. But they're all going to have the same properties, right? And I'm going to call these minerals. So I have the stone template here, and I'm just going to throw in some color here. And for those of you, this is actually going to be my granite. So for those of you who are geology buffs, forgive me on my choice of colors. I'm taking as much creative license as possible with this because it's a work of fiction. Thank you very much. So we'll save as, and we will jump into, and I actually need to put these into Susanna because I dorked everything up. I put it over here. Resources, assets, neocraft, textures, blocks. There we go. And so this is going to be mineral-granite. And you'll notice the naming convention that I'm doing on these, and I'll kind of explain that as we go along. Whoa. Let's make this 0. Come on. Come on. There we go. Let's just change the hue of this a little bit. Yeah, that's good. And we will name this, I don't know. I've just been kind of like picking these off as I go. Shale. That'll work. And we'll do a different one. Hey, that's a good one. And we'll save as and a site. I don't even know if that is a thing. I think it is. I think I read that when I was in college, I believe. Andesite, granite, shale. Let's do. Did we actually change the color? Oh, we got to come back in here and change the color. Let's change the color. That's good. And we will name this one limestone. So we're going to have 4 different types of blocks here, right? Sub blocks. Sugar. I almost made that limestone PNG. Limestone. So all of these start with mineral dash, right? And that will kind of come into play here in a bit once we get a little bit further in. So we're going to start out in our main modding class, and we're going to declare a new variable. And this is easy. Easy, easy, easy. Let's do a block. And we are going to do, let's just sneak it right in here between these two. Public, static, block. And what are we going to name this block? We are going to name it block minerals. This is what I'm choosing. It could be whatever you want, right? Because remember, you're creating one block that is going to be representative of all of these sub blocks, right? I'm just using minerals. That's my thing. That's my thing. Ribs. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. And since we snuck it in down there, let's put it in here. So we're going to do block minerals is going to equal new mineral blocks, and this is a class that I'm going to create, and we're going to set the block name as minerals, and we're also going to set the creative tab here. Do I need to do that? No, I'll do it. I'll do it elsewhere. Now let's register this, and we're going to do the registry now. I usually wait till the end to do the registry, but we're going to do the registry now, and hopefully it'll make sense on why we're doing that. So we're going to do game registry, and this isn't going to be like we normally register it, because we actually need to add a little something onto this. So we are going to register a variable, so block minerals, and then we're going to need to have a class in here. So we're going to do that, and we're going to say item mineral blocks dot class. And what does this bad boy do? Well, this bad boy is more or less going to it's going to help us organize our unlocalized names. I'll kind of leave it at that. When we get in and we build the class, it'll make a little bit more sense. So what is this going to be? This is going to be easy minerals, like so. So what do we got? We got a couple of things to do here. Let's do this. Let's create this class first, and we're going to, of course, put this under our blocks package, like so. All right, let's get to building. So mine is going to extend block. So extends the block class. We're going to import that. We're going to do our constructor, the material. At this point, the material is pretty straightforward. We're not passing it along from our main modding class, so we will just do material.rock. I want a rock. And we'll do this dot set creative tab. Then we'll do craft dot craft tab. Easy. But there's some stuff that we need to do, and what we actually want to do is we want to change this from protected to public. We'll run into that error later on, but let's just get it out of the way now. So what we want to do here is we need to specify textures, because each of these 4 blocks is going to have their own individual texture. But since there are different textures, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using a variable. Since we have 4 different kinds, we're going to use the variable to kind of go through what that particular texture is, and we're going to reference the texture based off of what is going to be in an array. So let's do this. We're going to say private icon, and we're going to specify the brackets, meaning that it's going to be an array in texture, like so. But you know what? We only want to render this on the client side, so we're going to put in side only, side dot client, like so. Let's do our imports, get those out the way, and then we want to do another one, so we're going to do final static string, and this is where we're going to essentially store the values of the different blocks that we're going to have. And I'm going to name this subblocks. This is going to be my variable. Since it's final, I have to put in data right now. So this is going to be a new string, and I'm going to load up this array with the 4 different types of block that I have created so far. Shale. What else did we have in there? We had granite, and then we had andesite. But that's going to need quotes because this is a string. And we're going to do that, and we're going to finish it off. So there we go. These are all of the different subblocks. So if you're making your own meta blocks, this is where you're going to define all of them, right? If we, should we? Can we? Let's go look at wool and see what it looks like. I honestly didn't check out wool before I came in and did this. I'm hoping that wool is going to reinforce what I'm teaching here, because otherwise I'm going to look really silly, and wool is not in there. Is it cloth? It's not cloth. Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? I'm not seeing any others that would be metadata. Well, where would the block wool class be? Block wool, block wall. Oh, that's going to be like cobblestone wall. Well, that's one, yeah. So here you see, we've actually got normal cobblestone wall and then mossy cobblestone wall, right? Those are the two different kinds you could be. So here's an example of that array being put in there. So yay, we're not totally off here. So subblocks, these are the different subblocks that I'm going to have in there. So as many as you've decided that you're going to make, you want to load them up into this string. There's some other things that I want to do in here, and we're going to say this dot set hardness is going to be 3.5 float, and this dot set resistance is going to be 5.0 float, like so. That's good. That'll do. That'll do. That'll do. So now we want to do our textures. So we're going to, kind of like we do with all of our other blocks, we're going to do side.client, and we are going to say public void register block icons. We're going to be pulling in icon register, and we'll just name that icon register like we have in the past. All right, publics and icon register, and we'll need to import that, I'm sure. And we do. Okay, so here's the deal. We have 4 different things we need to texture. So we don't want to do 4 different methods. Really what we want to do is we want to specify, we're going to use a for loop, right? So we'll start here. We define texture, and this is where we're actually going to store what that texture is. So we will do texture is going to equal new icon, and it's going to be subblocks dot length at the bottom. Of course you are. And we are going to say for int I equals 0, and we are going to say I until I is less than subblocks dot length. So we're only gonna we're gonna iterate through this statement, this thing that we're gonna do. We're gonna iterate through it as many times as we have items in subblocks. Well, what is the length of subblocks? It's 4, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 items right there, right? And we're going to increment as we go. So there's that, right? So this is normally where we would say whatever our texture is going to equal the icon register icon. That's what we're going to do. We're going to say texture, except we're going to specify I, right? Because we're iterating through this whole string. So the first time through it'll be limestone, second time it'll be shale, third time it'll be granite, fourth time it'll be andesite. So texture I equals icon register dot register icon, and it's going to be Neilcraft, if he can spell it right, dot mod ID plus minerals dash plus subblocks, not dot, I, like so. What am I doing wrong here? I have one too many of those. So there we have it. Let's back that up. So what is this going to look like? Well, our mod ID is going to be Neocraft, right? And then minerals dash, and then whatever the subblock is. So the first time through, of course, it will be limestone. So that actually takes care of our block, registering the textures for our block icons. And I hope that made a little, not a little bit of sense, but a whole lot of sense, right? Now we need to get the subblocks. So we're going to do that, the same thing. We're going to iterate through them, and we're going to specify each one, right? So, all right, let's do this. Side only, side dot client, and this is going to be public void get sub blocks. It's going to be item. Well, technically it's a block. List. Yes. There we go. Let's import item and list. Make sure that you're choosing util list. So there we go. So we're going to do another for loop because we need to get through all these, and we're going to say for int I equals 0. I is less than subblocks dot length, and we're going to iterate I plus plus. And what are we going to do here? Well, we're going to add stuff to our list. And what are we adding? We're going to add a new item stack, and we're going to specify variable block, which is what we're passing into it, comma 1, comma I, just like so. And we're going to close that out, and we're going to import item stack. So why is this important? Why is this important? Well, what it does is it allows us to put these 4 things into a list. More or less, that's what we're doing. So that way we can call this routine, hey, what are the sub blocks that we need, right? And we'll kind of revisit this method here in a bit. Last thing we need to do is get our get the icon. We're going to do side only, side dot client, public, Lord Almighty. Hold on, I need a drink. Tasty beverage. Public, icon, get icon, and we're going to have inside into meta. And this one's easy. Return texture meta. Whoa. See how old you guys are. See if you can tell me what that's from. So that gets our icon, and we're going to do public int damage dropped, and this is how we get our item. Int meta. Return meta. Metal. Int meta. So that takes care of our mineral blocks class. That takes care of that error. We have one more down here. We need to create the item mineral blocks class. This one we're going to drop into items. Why? Because I said so. Suck it, Trebek. Public class item mineral block is going to extends item block. My apologies if you hear a child screaming in the background. We're actually trying to get the 1-year-old to sleep in her own bed. Ugh, scary. So she is more or less being tortured right now because, she does not want to be in her own bedroom. So we have our constructor. I don't like these things. Whoa. I don't like these things because, like, what does that even mean, right? These are variables. The variables can be whatever we want. So we're going to change those to block. We can put in dog shit if we want to, and it would not matter as long as we make sure that we're appropriately calling that later. You know what? I'm going to leave that there just to prove a point. This dot set has subtypes. Does this class have subtypes? Yes, it does. This is a Boolean expression. So yeah, oh hell yeah, it has subtypes. That's the whole point. That's why we're doing it. That's why I'm watching this damn video in the first place. Next we're going to do, this is how we get our unlocalized name, right? Easy. Public string get unlocalized name, and it is going to be item stack, boop. Int I is going to equal item stack dot get item damage if I is less than 0, or, remember those are the ones right, shift right above the enter key with the slash. I is greater than or equal to subblocks dot length. Wow. So yeah, let's copy this. Because of reasons. Because it's a whole lot of stuff to type. There we go. Would you like subblocks now? Subblocks dot length. There we go. So if that's the case, what do we want to do? We want to say I equals 0. Boomski, what is this not like? Oh, we haven't finished it. That's why. We are going to return super dot get unlocalized name. And there's 2 of them that we can choose. We want the item stack one, right? And what is that going to be? Well, that is going to be plus that plus subblocks I, like so. And again, we're going to get the metadata, except we're going to get a little bit differently. Int get metadata, int meta, like so, and we are going to return meta. So what is all this doing? What is all of this doing? The whole purpose of this is really to make sure that when we go to get our unlocalized name, it's going to return the right one. Because we have one block, and the unlocalized name of this block is minerals. But there are variations of that. There's going to be minerals dot limestone, minerals dot shale, minerals dot granite, and minerals dot andesite. You following me so far? Cool. So what we are going to do is we are going to hit save here, and we're actually done. Let's run Minecraft and see what we got. Oh, sugar. Let's not and say we did. There's something that I need to do first. Something that I never do, but is important. It's important because you may not already know how to do this. So this actually opens up over here in Sublime Text. So what do I need to do? Well, I need to name all of these, and how you name them is a little bit different. So it's going to be tile.minerals.limestone.name equals limestone. So you'll see what I'm doing is really we're used to just saying tile if it's a block, minerals is the unlocalized name, and then name. But we're putting in what our sub-block name is right there. So if we actually just copy this like so, and we do granite shale, and andesite, like so. Then we can do granite, shale, and amniodocoit, andesite. So we'll save that. Let's get that out of the way. Now let's run it and see how badly I fucked it up. Single player, new world, and what? Oh, one of them's in there. Tile, minerals, limestone, name. Oh, you know what? I have some capitalization action going on there. This requires further troubleshooting. One, we have to figure out why we only have one of these. And two, why isn't it named right? So let's do this. This is where we are going to start. We're just going to change this to mineral. You know what? No. We'll leave that as is. I'll come back over here. Like so. But we're not seeing all of the sub-blocks. And why is that? Well, I'm going to compare notes. So, I may have gotten ahead of myself when I registered this bad boy down here, because I actually had this set as block minerals dot get unlocalized name dot substring 5. This may look familiar to you. That's the way I had that. I was trying to go from memory. Let me just check a couple more things here to make sure that we're savvy. That all looks correct. Let's run it and see what happens. I just got some errors. Still just one block. Well, at least it's named correctly now. That's good. Alright, I'm going to do some looking. I will BRB. Alright, so a couple of different things here. We made a boo-boo. We? Yeah, it's totally your fault. It's my fault. We have to reference our creative tabs, because when they're listed on the creative tabs, we have to make sure that that happens. There's also one other error that we're going to preempt, and you may have noticed it. I didn't put in my doohickey right there. Need that. So, creative tabs, this makes sure that they're actually appearing. When this method is executed, it makes sure that the list is being added, so that way they're seen on the creative tabs. I didn't think that was needed. I was wrong. I'm still getting errors. What are these errors? Blocks, minerals, andesite. What did we name those textures as? Mineral. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's make it just mineral then, I guess, in here. For shame. For shame, Neil. For shame. Bad boy. Doesn't look like we're getting any errors. And survey says there are our blocks. Sweet. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do F3H. Did that do it? It did. It did. Sweet. So now we can come in here and you'll actually see 2070, 2071, 2072, 2073. Right? So
we have our 4 different sub-block types. Boop, 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 and boop. Voila, there you have it. And they actually have names. Pretty sweet. Thanks for being patient with me on this one. This is something that I kind of had to go out and learn. And thanks to Mike for putting me up to the challenge. I appreciate it, buddy. I've been, I don't want to say that I've been meaning to go out and learn block metadata for a while, but I've known that it's kind of one of those fundamental things of Minecraft. And you mentioning it made me realizing that it's kind of a gap in my tutorial series. So here it is. I'm glad we got it out there. I hope it's helpful to all of y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Later. Bye-bye.